So this morning I've come down to the Trent. It's not too far from my home, the Middle Trent near sort of Newark way. And today I've come to just fish for whatever comes along, see what's in here and see what we can catch. This stretch here is full of fish. It's got bream going sort of £6, it's got roach over £1, there's barbel. I moved up to this area just before Christmas. We're now sort of mid-February and I've been doing a bit of exploring and flitting around and seeing what there is. I've focused on my carp fishing for the last sort of 8 to 10 years, but before that I did enjoy sort of multi-species fishing for everything, and the fishing since I moved up here has sort of taken me back to those roots. I'd never caught a zander before, I'd never caught a barbel before, and I thought with the Trent on my doorstep, if I moved up here and just carp fished for the next couple of years before moving back down south, it'd be a bit of a wasted opportunity. So I've been exploring the Trent and the River Witham, which is nearby, and just seeing what's out there. So like I said, I hadn't caught a zander, hadn't caught a barbel, and in the last month I've had zander to £11 and some double figure barbel as well, up to sort of £12, £13, which has been incredible for my first experience of those fish. So we're on the Middle Trent, and what I really like about the Trent is it's littered with clubs. It's nice, cheap, accessible fishing the whole length. So wherever you live, wherever's near to you, you can get a club ticket. The one we're on today, sort of £20, £30 for a season, and the clubs up and down the stretch are around about that sort of money. Anywhere between £20 and £40 can get you a season's worth of fishing with some incredible fish to target. And obviously being the Trent and being river fish, the fish are mobile, so you never know what's in your stretch, you never know what's come upstream, downstream over the season, and there's always surprises to be had. So this fish just goes to show there's no rules in fishing. So we had one rod out on the paste for the barbel and then one rod out on maggot for whatever came along. I expected to catch a few bream or roach on that rod, but that's the rod that's gone. The first fish of the day is this amazing barbel. So before I moved up here, I thought all the barbeling on the Trent was going to be the carbeling, as people call it, so carp tackle but fishing for barbel. I thought it was going to be alarms, 2 3/4 pound test curves, big leads, boilies, etc, etc. But the Trent is so varied. If you want to fish like that, and some places do demand it, then you do. But there's plenty of sectors that you can fish just traditional methods like I am today. You may need a bit more lead to hold bottom, as in where today, we cut the feet up and it is pulling through, so you may need a bit more lead than usual. But I try and use as balanced and as light a tackle as possible, because when you do get that bite, those fish are 6, 7, 8 pounds, and I want to enjoy the fight as much as possible. So I'll use as balanced and as light a tackle as I can get away with to catch the fish that are here. This rod's been back out about 15 minutes since that last fish. I am recasting every sort of 20 minutes. I was just about to redo this rod, and I've just had that drop back, lent back into what I think is another barbel. Unfortunately, there is a big fallen tree down to my right, and I'm still on the light sort of feeder gear. I need to give it as much as I can to keep it away from that snag, as I have lost fish in there before, but I can't give it too much and risk popping the hook or breaking the hook length. I think he's clear now. Just get him up over that shelf, under this other rod, and hopefully he'll be in a bit of clearer water and play him a bit safer. So whilst this stretch is full of barbel, and there's loads of them, they do come out, I didn't want to just sit behind barbel rods all day. What I've been enjoying is the unknown of the sort of lighter tactics fishing. So I will almost always have one rod out on a cage feeder with a bunch of maggots on a sort of size 12, as opposed to a boilie or a pellet or something on a larger hook where you're probably only going to catch barbel. Whenever the tip rattles over, it could be a pound roach, a £6 bream, a £6 chub, or a £10 barbel. And that's what I'm really enjoying at the moment, is that unknown of what you're going to catch next time you get a bite. So what I have noticed in the very few sessions that I've done here, it seems to be the downstream rod fished on a straight lead that does the most barbel. But I like to keep a feeder on the upstream rod to keep feed going into the swim and trickling down. I believe that draws fish up from downstream without being in the immediate vicinity of the hook bait and spooking any barbel as they come upstream. So I think the feed comes out the feeder, trickles downstream, over the top of that straight lead rod, and you get more bites. So for the last week or so, the river's been low and clear, and I thought it was going to be the same today. So I've turned up armed with maggot feeders and about half a gallon of maggots, and I thought I was going to be out and out chub fishing on the maggots. When I've turned up, it's up 3 feet and it's got a tinge of colour, it's nice chocolate and it's pulling through. So I've included a lot more ground bait, a lot more pellet and sort of meat hook baits, and I've been catching barbel when I thought I would have been catching chub. The downstream rod, the sort of out and out barbel rod, is slightly different. I've got a lead on a lead clip, about a 6 foot hook length. That's slightly stronger, that's about 12 pounds stiffish fluorocarbon, and a size 8 barbel hook on the end of that. Again, a strong wire, thick wire to get away with those stronger barbel. That's fished with half a pellet, a full piece pellet, a piece of meat, or some paste. And I fish on a lead clip because it means I can get away with, if I want to, adding a PVA mesh bag. So when I fish mesh bags on a running ring, obviously the resistance as you cast out, that bag flies back behind you, and the lead separation and the hook bait becomes a bit too much, and you end up with all sort of tangles. So the cage feed is running and the lead's on a lead clip. So this is the result of that quick change. I was just about to change that rod to a maggot feeder, and I thought I'll give it one chuck on a little piece of pepperami. The rod wraps around in about 5 minutes, and it's the biggest of the session so far, just over 11.5 pounds. That's the good thing about the Trent, is if you can find them and drop on them, you can have quite instant success. You don't need to slog it out for days on end. So, as I said, I've not been barbel fishing for very long, only since I moved up here a few months ago. So I'm finding my feet, learning how to fish for them, and therefore it feels like starting fishing all over again. It reminds me of my early days of fishing and my early days of carp fishing, where every bite, every fish brings a brand new buzz. So I've had another incredible day on the Trent. The Trent's been so kind to me since I moved up here. This season's nearly at an end, but I can't wait for the start of next season to see what the river brings.